Hi, and welcome to another episode of Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom, the podcast where two friends get together and talk about life, learning, and a variety of topics that interest us, serve us, and help to keep us healthy, well, or just satisfy our curiosities. So today we are diving into the fascinating world of old wives' tales. I'm sure we've all heard them, whose grandmother told them not to sit too close to the TV, or it would strain their eyes, or not to go swimming at least 30 minutes after you've eaten. We've all heard them, right? And there's millions of them. But what we found out is that there's a lot of truth to a lot of those old wives' tales. So,
Mhm.
Grandma was right about a lot of what she had to tell us. All right, so I'd like to thank you all for being here and remind you to like and subscribe and to hit the bell for notifications. Have a comment? Drop it in the comments for us. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, or maybe what you'd like to hear from us in the future. All right, with that, let's jump right into our old wives' tales.
So we're going to look at old wives' tales today, which is kind of cool because it is our heritage. Old wives' tales are our heritage. That's like it's what keeps us safe. And the old wives' tales that we hear from our grandparents and their grandparents and that have been passed down through generations, some of them were just to deter children to not do things.
That's
But
true.
other stuff was actually because they didn't have the science that we have now. And they picked up all this information by like paying attention to certain things and how certain things reacted, bodies and things like that reacted to different, different things. So we're going to move on to salt water, right?
Okay.
Gargling with salt water. Are told gargle with warm salt water when your throat hurts and things like that. And that happens to be true. Like it really helps your teeth and your gums. It turns out that it's like scientifically backed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Salt water is amazing, from Epsom salt to regular table salt, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing stuff. Do you have any saltwater stuff that?
So absolutely, so gargling in and of itself, like even without this, gargling itself has its health benefits and is very
Hmm.
calming to the vagus nerve. So then you add the salt water to that, and it's
Hmm.
actually antibacterial. So it will help with like swelling and inflammation and tooth pain and throat pain. And my
Hmm.
great grandmother used to always say, like I remember, I guess my mom saying I had eczema when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and I still get it from time to time now. Or even diaper rash. They would say if you have diaper rash, take the baby and dip them in the ocean.
Yes.
Uh, and it that is actually true. There's so many minerals in salt water that it really can help to heal the skin. Now you got to be
Right.
careful. You don't want to go in with open skin because then you can actually get some bacteria. But getting into salt water can actually infuse like in through your skin, will absorb it, take it into your body, and use those vitamins and minerals
Hmm.
to actually help like replenish your skin. Plus, the salt water, when you actually get in the ocean, helps to exfoliate, get rid of like dead skin, and renew and bring out like fresher, newer skin. So there
Hmm.
is, there are truth to both of those. So yes, like salt water is great for rashes. You just want to make sure that there's no open skin before diving into the ocean.
Right. And so for our modern time, right? You might not have an ocean by you, can't dip it in the ocean, right? Or anything like that. But for modern time, Rachel and I both use a magnesium rub,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Works
And so,
great on sore
yeah, and
muscles.
well, it works great on sore muscles, but it also works well on my, like when I get skin rashes, I
Mm-hmm.
use it on my skin rashes as well. And so, as we move forward through modern times, you can find that we can connect those old wives' tales to what they have out on the shelves now,
Right, and
right?
we're still using these things today, which
Yeah,
is like, pretty impressive, like in one form or another. Soaking in Epsom salt is not the most convenient at times, but yeah, I love that they have like these rubs. And it's put in like you've got the Epsom salt in with like an aloe vera gel, and like aloe
Yes.
vera is like one of those great old like, folk remedies
Hmm.
that really works. Like, have you ever like ripped off an aloe leaf and put it on your sunburn?
Yes,
It
totally.
takes this thing out and it does help it
Yes.
heal.
Yes. So
And I
perfect.
didn't even think of that one. Like, we did all this research, we wrote all this down, and now we're talking about the ocean. I'm like, oh, ocean, sunburn, aloe. Like,
And then to move on to our next one is the weather's changing, when it's going to rain, joints hurting. And you usually heard that in like older people that have like arthritis or some kind of joint issues. But the fact of the matter is that's true. The barometer changes, pressure changes, and things like that. And you feel it in your body. And you do feel it in your body when you're older. Like I know I have had reconstructive knee surgery. So every time the weather changes, like my knee is like, hey, by the way,
yeah,
it's green.
a lot of it is the air pressure, and the change in air pressure on our bodies can actually
Hmm.
like make you know when that's going to happen. So, with a lot of time people who have even chronic pain or migraines, the change of
Hmm.
the weather and the change in the air pressure can affect it, and you can end up with like an arthritis flare up, or with ending up
Right,
having a migraine on those days when it's going to rain or snow or like thunderstorm. Like, you feel it
right,
brewing and you're like, oh
right.
yeah, we're getting a storm.
Yeah. And I know that like we as kids would be like, wow, how are they predicting the weather
Yeah.
with
And
joint
yeah, you
pain?
literally you literally feel it in your bones. Like, you
Right,
feel the weather change
right.
in your bones, and that is true. Like, the change in air pressure
Hmm.
can be felt in our bodies. I'm actually going to loop that into something else I found, with the world kind of, and like the earth itself affecting our bodies, is the full moon, and how there's
Yes.
always like a rise in emergency room visits, or people acting
Hmm.
out, like robberies, people getting like a little crazy. Like, they used to call people lunatics because the
Hmm.
moon like drove them crazy. And because of the pull on the earth, like the gravity field and the change in the tides in the oceans, like,
Hmm.
it just goes to show you how deeply connected and primal we still are, because these things do actually affect us. Like, we are mostly water. So when the moon
Right.
affects the oceans, and the earth itself is mostly water. So when the
Hmm.
water changes, you have that pull and that change in gravity, it can change how we act. It can
Right.
change our action, and like, some of our mental capacity. So
And
that's
it
kind of
changes
a
the
nice,
way we feel
yeah,
too, like
absolutely.
in our bodies. Like some people feel like really, really intense during the full moon, like they don't feel well or whatever. And some people feel like energized and, ready to take on the world, right? And so, yeah, it really depends on who you are, but knowing that that kind of stuff is because it's the pull on the earth, and we are mostly made of water, and we are connected to like everything, which is so cool.
When we're that close, where we are in line with the moon, and how it affects
Hmm.
the ocean, and then it affects us mentally and physically. And it
Right.
actually does have an effect. So, yes, the full moon does kind of make some people crazy.
And we can't use that as an excuse all the time. Some
Or,
people
yeah,
are just crazy.
yes, that is true, but it actually can bring about just some unusual behaviors, we'll say.
Right. Fair. Fair.
Okay.
So our next one is for people that are pregnant. Um, I was told this all the time growing up in an Italian household, and I know you as well.
Mhm.
Um, when you have heartburn and agita while you're pregnant, right? Oh, the baby's gonna have so much hair. That baby's gonna have so much hair, and that's true,
Yeah.
right? So they did a study at Hopkins University,
Yeah.
and in that research, they found out that that is true, that the
Mhm.
people that suffer from heartburn and agita, that they do wind up having babies that have more head hair, body hair.
Body hair.
As yep, some of the kids are
This is why the
covered.
Italians knew this. I think this is why
Yeah,
it's an Italian old wives' tale. But the funny part of this study is, because I read the same research.
Uh-huh.
The funny part is they went to prove this theory wrong. And in
Yes.
trying to prove this theory wrong, they
That
actually proved the theory.
proved it
Like that
right.
it, yeah. So
Proved it right. Yes.
I found that like to be really like worth mentioning, because it was like, oh, they went in there to like definitely like knock this like old wives' tale out of the park, and turns
Yes.
out it's actually true.
And then we can move on to an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Oh my goodness. I found every article I found with this one in there. There's tons, by the way. If you want to research
Yes.
this, literally like Google it, and they'll give you lists. And an apple a day comes up first, and they will give
Mm-hmm.
you every article that supports this. Here's the crazy part. There are so many health benefits to apples. While they are
Yes.
not like a magic pill that will cure all your ails, there are so many health benefits to apples, and so much nutrients and vitamins and so many like health qualities in
Yes.
there. Every article I read had a different aspect as to why this old wives' tale might be true. To
Yes.
how they are like easily digested and like can help kind of clear your system of like stagnancy of other things just kind of laying around, to the antioxidants and the flavonoids and the inflammation reduction, to their abilities to help prevent cancer and
Mm-hmm.
diabetes and obesity, because they actually do help kind of like filter out your system.
Because they're so
I
high in
found,
fiber.
well, they're high in fiber, but that's the thing, they're high in so many.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
so like I said, in antioxidants, in flavonoids, in there are so many components to an apple that are or qualities to an apple, that every article I read that had this one in there, and I
Yes.
read so, had some sort of different reason as to why
Mm-hmm.
this wives' tale is true and can be backed up. And I just thought it was like I couldn't even pinpoint like one thing to write down as to
Right.
why the apples worked, because I would have been like, I would have had like a whole thing just
Yes.
apples.
Yes. And I was the same way. I was just like, oh, this, oh, this, oh, this.
And
So, yeah, I think the thing is they're super good for you. They're easy to digest. They help you out with so many vitamins, minerals, just what your body needs, pretty much,
yeah,
right?
no,
Um,
absolutely.
and so moving on with the food thing, carrots for your eyes,
Hmm.
the carotene in a carrot, right?
And the
Um,
vitamin A, your body makes it into
yes,
vitamin A, which actually your eye
oh,
muscles need
right,
to function.
yes,
But yeah, there's so many great like food, uh, like old wives' tales and food. So from like carrots, and we go to cabbage.
Mm,
And cabbage
yes,
was another one that I looked up. I remember being told to take cabbage leaves and put them on joints for like
yes,
arthritis pain. You can use them for any kind of inflammation like mastitis. So like if you're nursing and you're having like a lot of
hmm,
issues with like pain and soreness and inflammation, cabbage leaves applied directly to the area can
hmm,
help reduce that inflammation. But they're also great for internal,
right,
because again, same thing. So the I always say this word, cruciferous vegetables,
okay,
all of them like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, have all been equated to preventative health measures. They're like
yeah.
great at prevent, like they're.
Well, all
I
of
don't
them
want
are
to say
good for,
anything prevents like cancer, but
yeah,
it had there was research that
but
backs
they,
that.
but those vegetables are all good anti-inflammatory,
Yeah,
right?
high
And
anti-inflammatory.
so the thing is like, they help with just internal and external, right? It's just like a lot of things that we suffer when we suffer joint pain and body pain and things like that. A lot of times it is because of inflammation,
Inflammation. Hmm.
right? And so what, like, you can kind of work through a lot of things by taking down inflammation. And
Hmm.
so having these natural remedies to take down inflammation can help you actually pinpoint certain things and actually pay attention to certain things. Once the inflammation is down, then you can really tell what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
right? Because with the inflammation,
Absolutely.
you're just in pain and you're just like, it all hurts. It all hurts all the
Right.
time. I
So I
know when
guess
I
apparently cover yourself in cabbage leaves, and I'm gonna have to like,
so I can tell you when I was breastfeeding, like I would be in such pain that it would actually hurt throughout my back.
yeah,
And it was just like, and my doctor said to me, he said, I know this is going to sound weird. He said, but peel cabbage leaves, he said, and soak them
mhm.
and then put them on your body. And I was just like, that is so weird. But the reality is, they do take away the inflammation, which in taking away the inflammation, it relieves so much discomfort.
Yeah. So I actually found so apparently cabbages are widely used in Polish folk medicine.
Hmm.
Um, right. So even so, you
I
would
don't
just
know. I don't know two people that have Polish in them at all. Us. Never
so
mind.
yeah,
Us.
exactly.
Us.
So and I know like a lot of times you get like the sauerkraut from the Germans, but also sauerkraut like and fermented cabbage
Yes,
are
fermented.
great for like
Yes.
so if something was going on like with your stomach and like digestion, right? So
Hmm.
oh okay, have you want cabbage, you want to eat sauerkraut, it'll make your stomach feel better.
Right.
That was
Right.
another one that was
Absolutely.
there. And with the cabbage too, I found like I guess they use it like they chop up the cabbage leaves and put it on there. Or I've even seen like just lightly like peeling them and like just putting them in like warm water and then laying them on.
Yes, and
Or
that's what my doctor told me to do. He said don't boil them. He said, but soak them to so they
yeah,
would like
so like
really
throw some
breathe.
yeah, so yeah,
And yeah, so that worked well.
that was
Okay, what else? What else do we
so
have?
chocolate for cramps.
Mm,
All right, so and I'm wondering
delicious.
too if this will work, and it probably should work for any kind of cramp, right?
Uh-huh.
So but it does too. Like, there's a couple reasons why this is going to work specifically, for premenstrual. It definitely there's chocolate will trigger. I'm trying to remember like certain parts of the brain where it like calms you, it makes you feel better. But dark chocolate also has a high magnesium content, which
Mm-hmm.
will help soothe, calm, and relax tight muscles. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like one of the reasons. So any food high in magnesium will
Mm-hmm.
do that, but chocolate will actually like trigger the parts of the like pleasure centers in the brain
Mm-hmm.
that will make you feel good. So we've got the magnesium to actually help soothe the muscles, and then we're triggering like endorphins and good feelings like in the brain at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. So it's going to make you feel good when you've got that like stress because your body's just kind of going through so much. So dark chocolate will actually help. So I wonder if it would help, like if I had like, next time I have a leg cramp,
Mm-hmm.
like, will dark chocolate work or do I need a banana? So I don't know. That was the other thing. Like if you had leg cramps,
Mm-hmm.
or if you woke up with a Charlie horse in the middle of the night, like that was what another thing. Where, oh, you need to eat more bananas or
Yes.
drink more orange juice because you need the potassium,
Potassium.
and those foods actually will help alleviate
So,
those
so
cramps
what
and
I was
cramping.
told, and I don't know, what I was told is uh to get the amount of potassium from a banana that you need for a day, you would have to eat a 6 foot banana. Oh, that's a lot of banana.
That is. So then, where else do we? So where else are we getting our potassium from?
Well, I we get potassium from broccoli, we get potassium, like there's so many foods that give us
Okay.
potassium, right? Um
Definitely orange
uh
juice. Like
yeah,
those are the two big ones that they usually tell you, like when you're getting those, like bananas and orange juice. That was always like,
yeah.
especially because you would get
Well,
those like Charlie horses, like a lot of times. So if you're a runner or a pregnant woman or
mhm.
someone who got like that was always what they said to do. Oh, eat a banana. It'll stop that. Like you get a lot of Charlie
Well,
horses, you need bananas.
and when you give blood, the things that they give you after you give blood is orange juice and bananas,
So
right?
if you're lucky, they
Um,
give you cookies, but I don't think those.
oh,
Yeah, I don't think those are
I've
very good.
never given blood there. Where do you give blood? I would like
I
to
don't
go.
know. Places in New Jersey, they give you cookies and donuts, like cause for to replace the sugar.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh. Anyway, so then we move on to honey, right?
Honey.
Honey. So honey for sore throat.
Hmm.
Honey, honey,
I
honey. I don't know. Honey has a lot of antibacterial. So people back in the day would put it on their skin
yeah.
for antibacterial and things like that. But when you have a sore throat, it coats the throat. It has antibacterial. Now, the research that we've looked into, they said it was you didn't take it for your throat for the antibacterial qualities. It was for the
Right. I think
soothing
it
qualities.
was soothing qualities. Yeah, because it kind
Right.
of um it coats the throat and then
Right.
it calms the reflex to
Right.
cough so that you can, so that you can go to sleep. And it actually showed it worked just as well, if not better than regular cough remedies, which
Hmm.
also are not like if you're just taking cough medicine, there's no antibacterial effect in that
Hmm.
either. You're not killing any germs. You're literally just suppressing the cough so that you can breathe and sleep and function.
So when my kids were little, I used to take honey and drop it on wax paper and freeze it.
Okay.
And then when they
So
didn't
then you
feel
have like
well,
little honey drops.
yeah, and when they didn't feel well, I'd pull them out of the freezer and give them a little honey drop. So kind of a neat little thing. Yeah. So what do you have next?
Oh my goodness, I have like such a list of like things I just kind of kept writing down. Let's see.
You,
Oh, walking. So
okay.
I don't know if anybody like I know a couple times like this is more of like a coach's thing, but I've got a couple for walking. So they tell you you get hurt, right? You get a cramp or whatever, and they tell you to
Hmm.
walk it off. And I kind of still equated that with old wives' tales because I've heard that. And then
Hmm.
also like go take a walk and don't come back until you've calmed down. Like
Hmm.
that was one of
Yeah.
like so if you were really upset or like you were in an argument, stop, go for a walk, clear your head and come back. Like
Hmm.
and definitely like walking does that. It calms you down, it helps you kind of reset, it releases endorphins, so
Hmm.
it stabilizes your mood.
Right.
And so, in that effect, if you are worked up in any way, it can help to calm you down. And the endorphins from that, if you sustained like a mild injury, like a like cramp or
Hmm.
like you got agitated or hurt a little bit, like just walking increases your circulation, it
Hit with
stabilizes
the
your mood. It does
softball.
help you. Yeah.
Hit with the softball. If you got hit with the
With a
softball, your
softball,
coach
you have to
would be
walk it
like,
off.
walk
Yeah.
it off.
Or like volleyball too. Like if you got smacked, go walk it off. Like, and that's really all it is because it's that initial like sting, right? So
Hmm.
you're not really like injured, right? It's a
Hmm.
quick, like it hurts. You'll be sore for a while, but
Sting.
especially too, like if you were like limping or whatever, or you had like a little
Right.
limp after a run, you walk, you slow everything down, and but it's true. Like, and there are so many. We could probably go into almost an entire show or half a show on all
Hmm.
the benefits that like walking has. But it's
Not
definitely
that
true. If you're
not that
God,
this is a wives' tale, but walking helps or not metabol. Well, yes,
yeah, it
metabolism, but
does.
it also helps your hormones.
Yes, it
It
helps
it helps
balance and
it
regulate.
yes, hormones. And so walking is really good for you for your hormones and your metabolism and
It's
things like
probably the one of the best ways to exercise out there, like health wise, because it doesn't stress your system at all. It actually helps reduce stress, which then in turn like helps keep the hormones
that. Hmm.
balanced. So it is like whether you're looking, yes, it's not going to completely 100% reshape your body, but for all of the health benefits that exercise has to offer, if you were going to do one thing and one thing only, like
Walking.
probably has like the widest array
Hmm.
of overall health and longevity
Right.
benefits.
Yes.
For
So
sure.
yeah, so I mean, we could probably go on about this literally forever. I mean, and there's so many things that like just our ancestors, like our grandparents and our heritage, different cultures have different ones, right?
Well, of course, because
So
there's different elements. There are
right,
different foods. There are different things that were on hand.
Right.
for them to use. And that's how they discovered these properties, because that was, that was in their everyday lives. We're so
Right.
spoiled now with all of these, big fancy things that you forget, like, that you, instead of like running and going to get an antibiotic like every time
Hmm.
something's not right, that maybe you should just like sit and try some simple healthy foods
Hmm.
or like little remedies. I am like, listen, if you are sick and like really ill, like go to the doctor,
Yes,
get your
totally.
medicine, but you can also take proper care of yourself in between with all of like these healthy
Yeah.
remedies.
Warm milk to help you sleep.
That
Yeah.
definitely works.
Yep, that was another one.
There are chemicals and properties in milk that, once warmed, will actually help relax you and go to sleep. I mean, chamomile tea with honey. Like the other thing
Mm-hmm.
with honey can help relax you and
Yes.
sustain. Not only will honey help you like kind of in tea drift off to sleep, honey will help sustain what your body needs throughout the night and like kind of feed your body so that it can like relax, restore, and rest. So honey can actually add to your good sleep.
Nice. Um, so, like I said, we could go on forever, and I am sure that each one of you out there, whatever background you have, wherever your family is from, you have your own cultural wives' tales, right?
Yeah.
And so, if
Drop them in the
you
comments
are
if you have any.
yeah, if you are so inclined, drop them in the comments because we would love to hear them. I think they are so cool, especially if you could tell us like the culture that you
Yeah.
came from and where the wives' tale came from, because I love that kind of stuff. I love to know why
Yeah.
this wives' tale came about, right? It's really cool, and it's cool to
I
share
write
our
so much
culture.
this week. Absolutely.
But I
I
mean,
read so much this week. I just kept going and going and going.
yes, no, and it's like it is so cool because that's how we connect, right? We connect through our knowledge and our culture and everything like that. And those are like our genuine connections, right? And we can, oh yeah, my grandmother told me that too, and we're from here and da 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 da.
Mhm.
So all of that is just like really just sparks us as just human beings. So share whatever you have because we would
Absolutely.
love to hear something that your grandma told you that you either found to be debunked, like you
Yeah.
were like, that does not
Like
work.
like that whole
Oh,
swimming thing. They totally lied to us. That was just so that they could sit and relax after they ate. They just didn't want to get back in the water and watch us. There was no, you can swim, you can eat, you can swim. It's all fine. You're not going to drown. It's okay. They just wanted to sit for longer and chat.
um, but I mean, if you share it with us, then we could just connect in that manner, and that's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
I really want to hear about
Um,
it.
so it just goes to show you that some old wives' tales are true, and some old wives' tales were just that, wives' tales. They were
Yeah.
just tales that they told you to either keep the kids in line or what they believed from what their parents told them, and then they didn't have the research to debunk it, right?
Yeah,
And so,
absolutely.
yeah, and so, um, like I said, we can go on with this forever, but we totally appreciate you logging in, subscribing, signing up, liking, commenting. We just appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
And so, and if we find more, maybe we'll do a follow up on this one.
Yeah, well, there's tons more. So we could,
Yes.
like I said, we could probably go on for days for this. So yeah, so drop something in the comments for us. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you know any ones that we didn't touch on, or some of your favorite old wives' tales and where they're
Yes.
from. We really we were fascinated with this. We both read so much, and we will
Yes.
probably look up each and every one that gets like I
Yes.
said,
And
read 10 articles on on just one thing,
so,
like apples.
yes. So, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.